Okay, ladies, this make a layout with this circle. I cut this out on the Cricut, and as you can see, there's lots of little areas that we can put the different kinds of paper. We're going to be using the Gnomes for Autumn paper pack. 6 beautiful papers, love them. So we're going to have fun with these and put them on our circle. So I measured the circle to be 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. So that's the measurement you want to cut. It is slightly bigger than the biggest hole. So on the first couple papers, just be very careful of your orientation. And if you do the 1 1/4 by 2 3/4, you should get 4 out of 1 strip. I flipped the paper over and then I did it again for the other look, if you would. So as you cut these, just set them aside. I just did 1 strip of each kind of paper, and then we're going to proceed and do the other ones. Now, the little tiny piece that you have left over, keep it in a pile, so that way you can use it later for the small little areas. And once again, on this one, make sure you're careful of your orientation so your letters are going the right way. So I took all my papers and I just kind of laid them out so I could have a visual as how it's going to look. And this was my outcome. As you can see, some of the outside pieces here, I didn't put paper on because I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it. But I'm hoping that a lot of these, maybe not all of them, but a lot of these I'll be able to use some of our leftover pieces and fill those in. I'm not going to worry about the little tiny outside pieces until after we place the big ones. So because I wanted to keep it in that order, I went ahead and set them over to the side. And then I flipped it over and started gluing. So if you happen to glue one and it goes over, just trim off the excess. But if you're a little bit more careful about which piece you place first, like the middle piece, then the other ones can just overlap and you don't have to worry about trimming anything. So you can do it either way. As you can see, I just put a little bit of my glue on there and then laid them on. They don't have to be rock solid down, just enough to hold them because this whole thing's going to get glued down anyways. If you need to, double check your orientation, especially for that paper with the letters on it. And then just keep on filling in the pieces how you laid them out. When you get done, it should look like this. Anything that's hanging off the sides, just trim off, but keep all those pieces because you will be able to use them in some of those small little tiny holes. And there we go. So as you can see, I have just a couple more holes left. I only had to cut 2 more pieces. I picked which colors and I just cut 2 more pieces of those. Filled the rest in with all the leftover pieces that I had trimmed off. So I think that's pretty good for not having a whole bunch of paper left over that I didn't use. Okay, so these are the 3 pieces I used for the rest of it. So you're going to need a 10.5 by 10.5 piece of white cardstock. So I used white daisy, so that's 10.5 by 10.5. The leaf paper we're going to cut to 11.5 by 11.5, and then the acorn will be the 12 by 12. So when it's done, once we trim everything, it's going to look something like that, like a layered look. Do you have to do a layered look? Absolutely not. I just thought it would be pretty. So let's work on this orange one. We're going to gut it in essence. Okay, so the piece of paper has been cut to 11.5 by 11.5. And if you have a trimmer like this is the easiest way to gut a paper. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck is gut a paper? Make sure you line it up at the top. So it should be, if you bring it in 1 inch, it should be at 10.5 by 10.5. And we're going to start the cutting at 1 and go down to the 10.5. And we need to go just a little bit lower because I'm only at 9.5. So oops, a little bit. There we go. So so that's your first cut. So 1 inch in, rotate it, put it back at 10.5. Make sure you're all lined up. And then once again, bring your cutter up to the top. It start at the 1 inch and go down to the 10.5 inch. Rotate it again. So as you can see, we're just going doing the same thing over and over. We're just cutting off the outside 1 inch of the paper and gutting it if you can. And that means that whole inside piece won't get wasted and we can use it for another project. Kind of neat, huh? Do I do this for all my pages? No, but ones that I know that I won't need that inner part, it is a fun thing to do to be able to save your paper, especially these really pretty specialty papers. And then here we go, our last cut, 1 inch down to 10.5. So that should make it, we have a 1 inch border, and all that middle piece we can actually save. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these on. Their base should be 12 by 12. And then this orange should be the 11.5 by 11.5. And then your white cardstock should be your 10.5 by 10.5. And your circle will fit on there. So I went ahead and glued that down, and I wanted to put some more embellishments. So I used some leaf thin cuts I had and grouped them. Picked my photos, decided to pick some from one of our trips up to see the leaves. And I decided I wanted to use this title regarding leaves since we go and see them all the time, and pop them up with some 3D foam tape, and there we are. So everything else I used on here were just little embellishments off the sheet. Some of them I actually had to cut out of the white border because I didn't want the white border. As you can see here, I'm kind of doing this one pumpkin off screen just a little bit. Sorry about that. And I just trimmed a little bit up so that way I didn't have all the extra paper around it. And then I put a little title down here so I can make sure that I can write the dates and remember where we were. It's always important to put that somewhere on your page. And then some of the other embellishments, I went ahead and used my 3D foam tape. All right, and last but not least, I used some of these sparkles. I just like a little extra sparkle on my paper, but not too much. And then, of course, we have to make sure that we do our journaling. So I just put the location that we were at in the year so I remembered. And there we go. That is the finished layout, guys. So the hard part actually isn't that hard, is it? And then just embellishment as you would like with your pictures. I put 3 pictures. You don't have to put that many. But I thought there was a really nice combination of everything that I put together. And there we go, the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope this helps you in putting your own layout together.